From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Good evening. Welcome to SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm Jon Burton with you for the next hour. Your phone calls, of course, are always welcome. Great to have you with us on this Wednesday evening. The Wednesday extravaganza, of course. A lot to get to tonight. Obviously, your phone calls, as we said, are welcome. Going heavy Titans tonight as they were back at practice, getting ready for Sunday's game against the Indianapolis Colts. We're going to hear from head coach Mike Vrabel, starting quarterback Ryan Tannehill, and several other Titans players throughout the hour as we get you set for action on a football Wednesday. Of course, the game coming up Sunday at noon over at Nissan Stadium. You can watch it, of course, on News Channel 5 as the Colts come in really banged up. Their starting quarterback Carson Wentz did not practice today. He's dealing with not one, but two sprained ankles. Head coach Frank Reich basically saying it's more than likely that he will not play. So the Titans will have to make adjustments there. And, of course, the Colts come in with an 0-2 record. And even with an extra game this year, you cannot afford to start a season off 0-3. It virtually kills any playoff chances that you would have. So the Titans with an opportunity not only to go 2-1, but also to get a very important divisional win. So after last week's incredible comeback overtime win in Seattle over the Seahawks, Titans sit at 1-1. Many thought they would be 0-2, especially after that first half. So they're in a pretty good position here, but they're going to be facing a desperate team, even with a backup quarterback. The Colts, as we all know, have played the Titans extremely tough over the last several years. In fact, Andrew Luck, their former franchise quarterback who retired a couple of years ago, finished his career undefeated against the Tennessee Titans. We all remember that. But the Titans, obviously, as we said, in a good position for Sunday. If they can get the win, get to 2-1, and, of course, get a huge divisional win and really put a major crimp in the Indianapolis Colts season as they would start the season 0-3. News and notes from practice today. Good news as far as Taylor Lewan is concerned. Of course, he injured his knee during pregame warmups last week in Seattle. Was a late scratch, had to sit out the game. But he was a full participant at today's practice. So it appears that he would be on track to play Sunday against the Colts. So that's certainly good news there. But you know, when you look at the Titans offense, Derrick Henry had that huge game last Sunday with the 3 touchdowns, 180 yards rushing. Ryan Tannehill over 300 yards passing. Julio Jones got into the act, 6 catches for over 100 yards. But it was kind of an off game for A.J. Brown, the Titans' other stud Pro Bowl wide receiver. Had some uncharacteristic drops, some lapses for him. He spoke about that today before practice over at St. Thomas Sports Park. Here's A.J. Brown.
Does that help, you know, at a time like this?
Most definitely. Same thing last year. Like, I know exactly what it was. When I did it, I knew I was trying to make a move, trying to position myself to make the safety miss and to score. You know, I just got to do the small thing first, catch the ball, see the ball all the way in, you know, and I do the rest when it's time.
Does Mike want to get out? I guess Sunday probably can't get here fast enough. When you have a game like that, you probably want to get out there and play today if you could.
Most definitely. I wish I could play today. You know, it's been a long couple of days for me, you know, but it's a part of it. It's a process, and, you know, it's ups and downs. So, you know.
Who in your family kind of made the find some humor in it?
I mean, it was funny after the game, but it ain't funny at all, to be honest. You know, my cousin, so, yeah.
Despite a rough day, catching the ball, credited for finishing a block that helped Derrick on the long touchdown run. Is that just part of the job, or is that something that you want to make an extra effort to do since you were struggling in the pass game?
No, it's always a part of the job. Whenever I got the ball in my hand, I try to, we have to block, and we pride that here, so I got to do my job even if I'm getting the ball or not, you know, so.
Tannehill just said that even when Derrick has a game like he did on Sunday, it's not even amazing because that's just who Derrick is and what he does. I mean, when you see stuff like that all the time from him, does it become a little bit like, well, we're just used to that because that's who he is?
I mean, Derrick's amazing. I can't lie. The stuff he does on the field, he pull away from people. He's a bigger guy, so he put up games like that, and we know he's going to deliver. So yeah, sometimes we're not amazed. So.
What's it like for you standpoint, AJ, when Derek busts one of those, 60, 70, 80-yard TD runs, what's it like being on the field and watching that happen?
So, we got guys on this team that can change the game in one play, and Derek is one of them. He can do it anytime he shots the ball. So, if I get my guy, he probably can take it to the house. So, that's a great feeling when you got a back like that, who can change the game in one touch.
Sorry, you guys tend to do so well when your back's against the wall. That Arizona result was bad. First half was bad, and then you come out and do so well. Do you have any feel for why that is with you guys? And is it a little dangerous that sometimes it takes some bad before you guys get your good?
I don't know how to answer that question, to be honest. It would be nice if we can just come out and just go. Everybody would want that, but sometimes you get hit in the mouth and you got to respond. So that's just how it goes. It's the NFL. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the game. The game plan, we can have a great game plan and then go out there and do something totally different, and we got to adjust. So, like I said, that's part of football. You get hit in the mouth, you gotta adjust, and you gotta play.
What it takes, if anyone's looking for 28s over here.
You generally answer.
Yeah, that's most definitely. I mean, we can't lay down, So, yeah, we got to answer.
When it comes to taking control of the division, obviously you guys had 2 goals early on in the season. Just how big is this one coming out of the gates? What do you see from these guys?
They're very similar to us. It's always a tough battle. This is my 3rd year in the division, and playing against these guys are never easy. They play hard. They're well coached. They play a lot of zone. They do a lot of great things on defense, and you got to play your best. So the division games are huge.
Coach Ray would say he expects obviously a lot from all the players, but he mentioned he was one of the guys that it's a little bit higher. So when you hear those type of comments, how do you just kind of like digest that, and then what's your relationship like with Coach Ray? How is that?
I have a good relationship with him, but when he talks like that, I try to. I know what he expects from me, and I just try to tone him out. To be honest, I just gotta go out and just play my game. Like last week was unacceptable. Julio picked me up early on, so I just gotta do my job. Regardless of what he says, I know I gotta play my best. And last week wasn't.
Couple more for AJ.
Titans wide receiver A.J. Brown there, kind of taking accountability for his performance last week against Seattle. Again, a couple of uncharacteristic drops. And, of course, he talked about the great game by Derrick Henry, who, by the way, today was named AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Of course, had 182 yards, 3 touchdowns in that incredible game last week in Seattle as the Titans snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, down 24-9 at the half. But Henry kind of lifted the team in the second half, and they were able to get out of there with a very, very impressive overtime victory. Meanwhile, on the other side of the ball, the Titans defense still gave up some big plays last week to Seattle, but when it counted, they were able to get off the field and put pressure on the opposing quarterback and allow the Titans to get back in the game. They kind of shut things down in the second half, only allowing 1 touchdown after being down 24-9 in the first half. And, of course, one of the leaders of the Titans defense, safety Kevin Byard out of Middle Tennessee State, says things are kind of looking up for the defense. Here's what he had to say this morning before practice.
Maybe something that you can build on going forward.
Yeah, I was thinking it was good to have that on film to see, like, hey, this type of defense that we can be. We could be dominant, but we got to put it together all 4 quarters. Like I said, I think that's knowing who we are, a team that can get after the quarterback, that can get off the field on 3rd downs, and pretty much stop any dominant offense with the Seattle Seahawks. I think that was good to see, but it's a week-to-week thing in this league. We have to put it together week in and week out, and that's going to be the challenge this week.
How encouraging is it to see the 3rd down improvement? I know it's not just going to turn overnight, but it feels like there is some improvement in that category.
It was really encouraging. I think we was 8 for 12, and one of them was, like I said, towards the end of the game. So really 9 for 12. So it was really good to see that. Like I said, man, I think the biggest thing is stop giving up those big plays. If we can find a way to make sure that we're all on the same page, every single play, which is, I take a lot of responsibility for that. As long as we always be on the same page, I think we can be pretty good. But like I said, I mean, we got to find ways to get more turnovers. That's my biggest thing. I think we can get more turnovers and eliminate the big plays. We'll be right where we need to be.
So of those 3 big plays, I know one looked like obviously a mix-up in communication. Were the other 2 mix-ups, or was that just like matchups they got and they played?
Yeah, I would think it's just matchups. Tyler Lockett's one of the best deep threat receivers in the league. He can track the ball pretty well, and he made plays, and that's something that's going to happen in this league. Like, I mean, you just don't want to give them anything. I mean, when they go out there and make plays, we just got to tackle them, get them on the ground, make them line up. The first time we got a big play, we forced them to a field goal. The next time we didn't get them down, and they scored a touchdown. So those things are going to happen, but the communication issues are things that we cannot, happen. Those things are going to get us beat. So we clean those things up, we're pretty good.
Is that just one person didn't get a call? Is that basically what it was?
Just defense not being on the same page. I want to just put it on one guy.
Kevin, the last 5 games in this series have been won by the road team. How important is it to try to, stick the fork in the road and hold ground on Sunday?
I mean, it's really important. I mean, anytime that you can get our division rival, whatever you want to call it, get them down 0-3, win our first division game. We understand how important it is to win home games at our stadium, but also win division games. It's going to be really huge for us, and I think that's the message of the week. Knowing that 2 teams is pretty much coached the same way, try to play the same style of football. We got to go out there and get turnovers on defense and just make sure that we're not doing any stupid penalties, to kill us.
Is it a good thing that you guys play some of your best ball after some of your worst ball? Or was it a bad thing that you gave some of your worst ball to kind of spur some of your best ball?
I don't really know how to answer that. I don't think it's a good or a bad thing. I mean, I guess it's good that we recognize we're not playing well and we play better, but you want us to play consistently good the whole time. And that's obviously the goal, and that's something that we're going to continue to preach until it happens. So, like I said, I think that we just need more consistency on the defense, not just one half, not one quarter, but an entire game.
Sort of on that line, Vrabel always talks about respond well to adversity. You don't want a bunch of front runners. But is there a reverse to that where you have to have the right attitude when things are going really well?
Yeah, I would think so. As this team, and it's what we've always been known to be, is a team that when stuff gets tough, we tend to, come out on top. I would just think that when things are going well, you want them to keep going well. I don't know if it's a whole reverse psychology deal. I just think that, when things aren't going well, which they always going to happen, we always be able to bounce back. So, that's kind of a weird question.
Kevin, sorry, I
didn't even know how to answer. I was trying to figure out a way to spit it.
Are you guys going in expecting to see Wentz on Sunday or a mixture of quarterbacks? How do you guys approach it given their quarterback situation?
Yeah, we'll expect to see. Honestly, I'm expecting to see Wentz, but as the week goes on, the injury report stuff come out. We'll prepare for both quarterbacks for sure. Wentz has been a quarterback in this league for a long time, and I know Easton's he's a younger guy, but I will prepare for both of them as if I think both of them are starting quarterbacks in this league, so we'll be able to see what they bring us and what happens during the injury report and stuff like that.
You got a guy like Wentz who's, a lot of his game is his mobility. He's got 2 sprained ankles. I mean, does it make it a little easier to game plan against him?
I won't say it makes it easier, but I think it's something that you really wouldn't expect them to try to get outside the pocket. Not a lot of boots and stuff like that. We know they're going to run the ball as much as they can, but I think as far as the way Shane's going to call the game, we got to try to get into the middle pocket and get him on the move. Especially with those bum ankles, you kind of want him to run around and see if he can make some mistakes and stuff like that. So, like I said, we'll see throughout the week what happens.
Titan safety Kevin Byard as his team gets ready to face the Indianapolis Colts on Sunday at Nissan Stadium, a noon kickoff. And again, it looks like Jacob Eason will be getting to start at quarterback as Carson Wentz is banged up with the not 1 but 2 sprained ankles. By the way, my radio partner, if you catch my show on WNSR Sports Radio 9 to 11 with Greg Pogue informed me this morning during our show that that's the most sprained ankles you can have is 2. So I learned something new today. Hope you did as well. All right, when we come back, we're going to hear from the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel, as again the Titans get set for Sunday's divisional showdown against the Indianapolis Colts. Stay with us here on SportsLine.